Hello and welcome to the StartuBREW Fargo podcast. StartuBREW is a weekly event hosted by Emerging Prairie in downtown Fargo, where we believe that entrepreneurship is energized over brews. Each week, we bring entrepreneurs, founders, and innovators together because we believe they succeed when they have access to each other and the community that supports them. This week, we welcomed local artists Kate Baldock and Elizabeth Moore. We're going to kick today off with Kate Baldock, a local Fargo artist who spent years in other fields of work before following her dream to become a full-time artist. Using playful colors, imaginative lines, and a contemporary approach to her art, she is creating pieces for homes and businesses around the area. And she's now even taking her work and incorporating it into the NFT market. Let's listen in to learn more.
Thank you for the introduction. I am so excited to be here. I have not talked a whole lot about my NFT adventure. I guess first, though, before I get into that, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I got started with art. I grew up with a really creative mom, and she always had us painting or creating after school fun projects, and it kind of just stuck with me my whole life. I actually I didn't major in art in college. I majored in psychology and tried to use that after college, and then I just ended up always going back to art. And so I finally, after years in different fields of work, I was in human resources, sales, retail. I was actually a substitute teacher in the public school system. I've done a variety of things, and I just found my way back to art. And so for 2 years now, I've been doing my art full time. Just moved into a new studio on First Avenue, so it's just a lot of exciting things happening. The community here in Fargo and surrounding area has just been so supportive of the arts, and it's just something I'm very grateful for. So it just keeps my career moving, and it's awesome. So the NFT thing is something really new for me. I was approached by a friend that I met at a networking group, and she asked me if I knew what NFTs were, and I had no idea. And like many of us, I think it's kind of this whole new field of art, and she saw an opportunity for me to take my physical paintings and mint them into digital assets or digital pieces of artwork. So that's what I did. Actually, like most of the summer, May through July, I worked with a few people, kind of a small team, and they helped me. I chose 5 of my original paintings that I've done on canvas. So I do large scale abstracts on canvas. I use a lot of color. So they're very vibrant and bright, and they bring joy with the colors that I use. And so I wanted to choose 5 pieces that kind of spoke to me, and I kind of chose a variety. So after I chose the 5 pieces, my team helped me mint them into digital pieces of art. And my collection is called Colors Unleashed, and it's on a website called OpenSea. And so the whole website is in cryptocurrency. So it's the Ethereum crypto. So you have to have a wallet that's compatible with Ethereum. I think there's a whole bunch of different ones. And forgive me, I'm really new at this. So I'm really welcoming anybody who knows anything about NFTs I'm looking for new ways to market my NFTs. I don't really know how to do that. We have it all minted. It's all on the site. My collection launched in July. So it's all been on there since July. And so essentially it's my physical art in a digital form. So the reason that I wanted to get into NFTs, I was a little bit weary at first because there's a part of the NFT world that I don't necessarily agree with. And I think some other artists kind of understand what I mean when I talk about that. But I'm very much about human connection and personal connection. And I think a lot of the NFT world is very virtual. So a lot of it is digitally created already. People are purchasing NFTs for their virtual homes, which is really strange. But that is actually happening. I have learned that over the last several months here, just digging into more of the details behind NFTs. So it's non-fungible token. That's what NFT stands for. For anybody who didn't know that, I should have said that right away. But yeah, so what I'm doing is turning my physical art into the NFT. And so a lot of what we're seeing is like a Starbucks coffee cup is kind of an NFT, or like a designer handbag. Some of the designer handbags in the NFT world are actually selling for more than the actual physical bag, which doesn't add up to me. So the reason that that side of it, I'm not necessarily on board with, but what I am on board with is sharing joy through art. And so I wanted to be able to share my artwork with people around the world and just get it seen by more people. So maybe there's somebody in Texas who loves one of my paintings, and now they have the opportunity to purchase the digital piece, and then they can either trade it or sell it. So kind of like the stock market, cryptos go up and down the value. So let's say they purchased my painting as an NFT for $300, and then in 3 months the crypto goes up $300. Well, then they're gonna make $300 if they decide to trade it or sell it. If that makes sense? What else? I was trying to think of like all the points that I want to hit, but I think that's pretty much close to everything.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Next up, we heard from Elizabeth Moore, a local Fargo artist who works out of her storefront, creating vibrant illustrations that take you on a journey of nostalgic pop culture and inspiration. Let's listen in.
Well, good morning, everyone. What's up, creatives? So, let's get started here. I have a question for all of you first. Who believes they are a creative here? I need a raise of hands. Alrighty. Okay, so you should all be raising your hands because I believe everyone here is a creative. From the people who are baristas to the ones who made the posters, even the ones who organized this whole event. I knew that I wanted to be in the creative career when I was at a very young age. So, going into school as the nerdy artist, it was cool that I was able to draw people in my class. And it was also really cool that I can make cute, posters in English class. Though it wasn't cool when I wanted to draw in an anime style instead of realism. And it definitely was not cool that I wanted to make this a full-time career. I was told that I should pick something realistic, that I should keep art as just a hobby. So fast forward to 2016, your girl was going through it, okay? So 2016, I'm working 3 jobs, feeling run down, feeling very defeated after leaving college after a semester, and then finding myself crying in the parking lot after being fired from my favorite job. Don't want to get emotional about it, but I called my mom being like, yo, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. And she said, Mija, it's time to open up your business. And then it hit me, if I'm going to be working very hard at something, it should be my own business. So welcome to Moore Art Studios. I first started working at a small office where she had her office as well. And I was also working full-time at Sephora. And it was a really cute time. I was up until 3 a.m. because I was a full-time business owner as well. And then it got to a point where I grew out of my business and we needed to pick something bigger. So she was able to help me to find a storefront, and now your Moore Art Studio was born in July of 2017. And my store is a hybrid store, so it's a place where I'm able to sell my products such as prints, stickers, and apparel, and I am also able to unleash my creativity. A place where I feel most welcomed and where I can't get fired. So I am able to create anything I want there, and it's my happy place. So thank you for that, Mom. Now, it's fun to make art for others, and it's even more fun to be able to geek out with everyone about the art that I make. But it's a lot more fulfilling when I'm able to inspire the ones who come up to me. I remember this one time I went to a food truck, and it was super cool because the lady recognized me, and she's like, "You're Moore Art, right?" And I was like, "Yes." Who's asking? And she said, "You were the one who inspired me to open up my food truck," which thank God, because she makes bomb Mexican food. So I was like, oh, God bless. So super excited that I was able to do that for someone. So now I want to ask you again, who here believes they can be a creative? Let's go. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
After the presentation, we jumped into a live Q&A session with the audience, joined by our host, me, Jessica Anderson from the Emerging Prairie team. Let's listen in.
We like to start with some celebration. So what is something you guys are most proud of in the last year?
Let's go. So I'm very proud of everybody who has been coming out to the art shows. I've already done 15 this year, and it has been packed. So thank you so much. I'm proud of all of you who came to support artists. So big applause for you. And I'm just very proud of the people that are in my life that are able to help me with art shows as well.
I think I am probably most proud of, so 2 years ago I left my job in human resources and decided to start my business in art full time. And it was risky and I did it, and I will never look back. It was like the best decision of my life, and I've never been happier. It's not that I was unhappy with my life at the time when I wasn't doing art full time, but I just was unhappy with my circumstances. And so I think I'm really proud of myself for taking that leap of faith really to build my business and moving into my art studio. I think that's been a big goal of mine for a long time, to have my own space to create in and to bring my clients in and to be able to create. So that's probably what I'm most proud of.
Awesome. Wonderful. We will accept some questions from the audience. I have one right here.
This question is for Kate. Yeah. Your large-scale abstracts, how big do your canvases get, and do you create them yourselves? And then how do you deliver them?
Do I make the canvases? Is that what you're asking? No, I do not stretch my own canvas. I buy them already stretched. Yep, so they're already good to go. And then sometimes I'll regesso them to add more texture. It just really depends on the piece. But I have done a 72 by 60. So I can do very, very large. Typically they're between 36 and 48 inches, I would say, is the typical piece. For the really big ones, though, that don't fit in, my dad and my husband are both kind of like my, they deliver for me when I have large pieces because they have the pickup. So that works. But trailers are used when there's large art. So anything over 60 inches. So.
Awesome. Do we have any other audience? Right here?
What's the most fun part about running your businesses, both of you?
I really love that I could set my own hours. And I'm not the type to wake up very early, so the fact that I'm here, thank God. But that's the most fun part, and able to connect with people whenever I want.
If I could pick one thing, I would probably say seeing the reaction of the client when they see their art. It's so amazing that people actually, I used to be very inconfident. My dad used to dig my artwork out of the garbage and tell me that one day people were going to buy that. Seriously. I never believed it, and now here we are. And I'm selling huge paintings, and I think seeing people enjoy the art that I've created for them is the most fun thing.
I've got a question.
Yeah. Right here?
Specific to digital art, Kate, how do somebody buys an NFT and it's digital, so how do they display it in their business or their home?
Yeah, so with the NFT, you can, so once you purchase that NFT, it's yours, you own it, but my name is always attached to it as the artist. So you're able to take that NFT digitally. So let's say your TV in your living room is off and you're like, well, it's ugly, it's just a black screen. Well, you could put that NFT up there and now you've got a piece of art in your living room on your television screen. Or you could print it onto a canvas or a t-shirt. You could do anything with it. You just cannot, if you printed it on a canvas or on a t-shirt, you can't resell that item, if that makes sense. It's only for your personal use because my name's always attached to it. So, yeah.
I just want to share something that I learned about NFTs when I was researching this. So one thing you can do is add code that executes to the NFT. So like if you were to sell your art to another buyer later, you could have code in there that says, I'll take a royalty perpetually for every purchase from here on out. So that's kind of a neat way to think about it.
Sure.
It's like a traceability of ownership of your art.
I missed a little bit of what you said in the very, very beginning, but I got the gist of it.
Awesome. Right up here.
Are there usually any pop-ups that you guys have or shows that you guys are part of?
So I pretty much do street fair every year and Comic-Con in Fargo as well, if anybody is a nerd here. We have Comic-Con in February, and I do that every year. I've been doing it for 8 years now, so.
So I actually had my first solo art show in April of this year at downtown at Chantilly at her boutique space. She used to be a retail store, and now she actually rents her space out for events, and it's a marvelous space for artwork to be displayed in. It was a really, really fun show. People came out and supported. I'm planning to do that every April, I think, down here. I had about 36 large pieces of artwork in the show this year. So I'm planning to do at least one big show a year. It's a lot of work. You can ask my dad and my husband and my whole family who helped, but transporting like all of that large artwork and getting it set up it's not easy. It's way harder than I thought it would be. So yeah, I'm planning to do one big show a year, probably around springtime. And then since I'm in my new space now, I'm planning to do where I actually share a space with another local artist, Laura Reddig. She's wonderful. So we share a space together, and we're planning to do some like fun little pop-up events. So watch for those as they come. So
Also, follow-up question for NFT journey, specifically built on Ethereum, right?
Yes. Okay, so the platform that my collection is on, Colors Unleashed, so the 5 pieces that I minted into NFTs is on a website called OpenSea, and that website specifically is Ethereum. Yep. So I know there's so many other sites. I'm trying to think of the name of another one that I almost used instead of this one, but they're all different, I think. But you have to pay in Ethereum. Yep. Is that what you were asking?
If you have to pay in Ethereum, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Right over here.
So with the NFTs, what do you do with the physical piece after it's made digital and it belongs to somebody else? So what do you do with your physical?
So the 5 pieces that I chose, 2 of them were already sold, so they're just specifically only available in a digital form. You don't have the opportunity to purchase a physical copy. And then 2 more just sold. So there's actually only one of my NFTs now that is available as a physical painting and the digital piece. So that's something that is really interesting, and it's a good question. Like, I don't know, does that make the NFT more valuable or less valuable? I mean, I don't really know. So I guess we'll see what happens, but
Yes. Oh, right here. Right here.
One last question is for both of you, but what's your favorite design tool, whether it's physical or digital? What do you pick up and go, this is going to make magic?
My iPad. I am a full-time digital artist. I make everything on Procreate. Would highly recommend it. It's only $10, and you unlock so much with it. I love creating GIFs. I love making little animations as well, and it's just a great platform where I'm able to create something. And it also has a time-lapse video, which I love posting on my Instagram and showing people what I can draw, because there's always this stigma about how digital art isn't art. Okay. And so it's just kind of funny when I can make like fun of it or make TikTok videos, be like, digital art is art, and showing them the process of making a digital artwork.
yeah, absolutely. It's great.
I have a question for both of you. If you could unpack a little bit your initial stages of new client acquisition. Did you pursue marketing, sales? Are you advertising yourself, or were you advertising yourself? Was it nuclear? Was it word of mouth? How did you go about generating and acquiring new clients and new customers?
Yeah, I mean, that is a huge one. When I decided to do my art full time, one of the first things I did was make my website. And I actually did that all on my own. I was going to have somebody do it for me, but I thought, I want to be able to put what I want into it. And so I took the time. It took me about a year to fully complete it. And it's not perfect, but there's a lot of criticism with it. But so yeah, I built my website. I would say that's huge. Email marketing. I really did a lot of that for my show in April, and that really was beneficial, and a lot of word of mouth. Connecting too with a lot of the designers in town. So a lot of the interior designers, I kind of like to explain to people that's sort of how my job works. It's a lot like interior design. I like to go to people's homes and see their space. And then that just leads to more clients. And then, yeah, of course, social media too. I do feel like nobody sees anything on my Facebook anymore. My posts are just like lost in thin air. I mean, it's kind of weird, but Instagram's great. I mean, I get a lot of clients through Instagram and a lot of messages and inquiries about my art. So
For me is I was actually quite disappointed when I first opened my store because I expected, tons of people to be rolling in, and I'm like, I was ready to go. I was sitting there. I'm like, wow, nobody showed up today. And that's when I realized that I really had to put in the hard work of, getting myself out there, getting in the community a lot more, and meeting people. Also doing art shows has really helped me and to get my name out there because there's tons of people coming in and out asking questions. Another way is, of course, social media. I had a really big breakthrough with TikTok. When it first came out, I started to do tutorials, and that's what a lot of people kind of know me as teaching others how to create art on Procreate, and yeah, just a lot of word of mouth, a lot of social media, just getting yourself out there.
Definitely. Do we have right here?
Just a reminder for Kate's dad. Talk about your gift
My biggest fan.
Your gift cards, what you can create with your art and put it on a card, because that's a really neat.
Yeah, I started to create, so I have packs of 10. They're just blank cards. You could use them for anything. And I just pick new art all the time and just have new cards printed. So they're available on my website. So yeah, I'm venturing into some of that too. That's a good point, Dad, that not just the paintings on canvas. I'm doing some other things with my art too. So
Awesome. I have a question. So what is a benefit and a disadvantage of owning a business in our region, especially as an artist? What have you guys experienced?
That's a good question. Okay, well, an advantage to having an art here is that a lot of people are very supportive here, which I absolutely love. So again, thank you for buying local artists and, being there for us. And a disadvantage? Maybe not having art shows in the winter is kind of hard. There's not a lot going on, so that's why I'm glad that Comic-Con is a thing. And I'm also happy that there's this show called Mini Makers, and they have an art show every month. So that's going to be something that's going to be really nice, especially with slower times.
I think Fargo's really growing, so I think that's a big advantage. People are building homes. There's a lot of that going on. So a lot of my clients come from I would say about 80% of the work that I do is commissioned artwork. And then the other 20% is just paintings that I've created on canvas that I just sell that are in my inventory. So yeah, I think just seeing like the growth of Fargo is a big advantage. And a disadvantage, sometimes I feel like North Dakota is like the last to hear about things. Like for instance, the whole NFT thing. I feel like New York and California, all those huge states, like they kind of like are in with like the new hip stuff right away. And I feel like we're catching on, but I feel like sometimes it just takes longer because we're in a different area and we're just smaller. So, but I don't know if that's a disadvantage either, though. I don't know. We have more community, and I feel like people know each other better here, and we're empathetic here, and we're, so I feel like there's differences too. But
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have any other audience questions? Otherwise, right there.
If you had a piece of advice to share with someone who's interested in starting their own art business, what would it be?
we're both like, go for it, right?
Exactly. No, for real. Honestly, just start. It's not going to be perfect, and it's going to be really tough. But once you start getting the ball rolling and just continue to push yourself, you will find your own voice and as an artist, and also be friends with the community here, other artists as well. We're all very kind of close, and we're all friendly. So getting to know all of us, and then that's pretty much where you go.
I went through a lot of different jobs before deciding to do this full time, and I think you learn something in every stage of your life, and every job you've had, you can take something away from it. And even though it doesn't seem like it, sometimes it just feels kind of sticky, like you're stuck. But I would say I had like this, I don't know, I prayed about it a lot. I have a deep faith, and that was something that I really relied on. And I just had a moment where I literally wrote my resignation letter and I handed it in, and that was it. And I felt the biggest relief. I felt zero regret. I was just completely ready. So I think listening to, sometimes we have to hang on and just keep pushing through those times before, because timing is part of it, but I think you'll know when you're ready. And I would say just when you are, just go for it. And if yeah, I mean, you can't fail if that's something that you want to do for the rest of your life. I was determined to make it work. There was no other option. So,
Yeah, kind of going off of that, if you believe you can do something, you can do it. You know, you keep pushing something hard enough, you will break through.
Awesome. Kind of hopping on that, obviously you guys had a passion for the creative side of this when you started. When you started jumping into the business side, what was like your moment of like, oh my gosh, this is a challenge, you know?
Woo! It really was. I struggled probably for the first 2 years. I have no idea what I was supposed to do. Luckily, I had some help with my mom because she does own her own business as well. So she was able to guide me through that aspect, but trying to mesh business and art, so it could be a little tricky.
to be totally honest, I am not a math person, so the whole like keeping track of things like was really hard for me to figure out, and now I have a system, but that was a learning curve, definitely.
Inventory.
All the little business things that you figure out, and so.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only imagine. Do we have any other audience questions? I can hop on to one of our Twitter questions. So this one is for Kate. It's talking about the experience of using NFTs. And he's asking, is the experience of using the art diminished in digital form, especially for larger pieces, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean, because it's only that file, right?
Yeah.
But technically, I mean, you could take that NFT file then and you could blow it up and print it on anything. You could. I don't really know, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but I don't know how to answer every single question about NFTs yet, because not a whole lot has happened with it yet for me. So I'm kind of still in the... I did it, and I'm excited to be doing it because more people are going to be able to see my art, but it's just one of those things I don't have a lot of expectations. So
A learning experience.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think I could speak for a lot of us. I don't know much about NFTs, but it's definitely an interesting thing. Is this a question?
Yeah, I'm Elizabeth's mom.
Hi, Mom.
I know how she stored with her art because the power she have in herself is more than what she can even touch. You can tell Elizabeth because she started with she don't have limitations. She can make murals, she can make oil painting, water painting, all kind of paintings. But people love the digital is what she's focused, but she has no limitations in her art. So when she wants to make a mural, she can make a mural on this wall. So that's why you probably be telling that no limitations in your art and size is not a problem.
Absolutely. I'm actually planning to make a mural, hopefully, for Sushi Burrito. So you'll be seeing a new burrito or a new mural there. I'm really excited for that. That's going to be in the wintertime. And yeah, thanks for being my height woman, Mom.
I know,
We
how
love moms
lucky are
here.
we to have parents?
Oh, yes. Okay, so biggest goal. Biggest goal. I love doing art shows. I started when I was 17, and it was actually kind of funny because my sister actually introduced me to Comic-Con, and I had no idea we even had Comic-Con in Fargo. I was like, you crazy? You expect me to make artwork? But here we are. I made 5 different artworks, and I was surprised of how much support I got that day, and I was like, wow, I can do this. And it's actually kind of funny because my art teacher was really against me doing like anime style art. He was like, you have to do realism. That's all you have to do. And I'm like, but I hate it. I don't like drawing it. So when I came in, I'm like, hey, mister, I made X amount of money at this show from selling my anime art. What do you think about that? And he's like, you know what? Go for it. And he couldn't say anything after that, but it really sparked something into me that I just love connecting with people. I love talking to them. I love talking about my art at shows. So it's something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And the biggest show I want to go to is Comic-Con in San Diego. I would love to be in Anime Expo, go to Seattle. I want to start traveling to bigger shows.
And another thing I want to mention, because I'm working with her and her shows, kids love her art and they want to be taught for her. Something that she can do too. When people want to learn something, she is willing to pay time for them.
Yeah, so if you need to know something about art, your girl's here. I have my own art studio on 45th Street next to Cole's Mentor. You can stop on by. I'm open between Monday and Friday at 11 to about 6.
Awesome. Roger.
Maybe you could explain Comic-Con. A lot of them don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I am happy to explain what Comic-Con is. So it's pretty much where all the nerds come. So if you love Star Wars, if you love anime shows, if you're into Superman, Wonder Woman, everything, people are dressing up as cosplays, which is just like dressing up as a character from any of these shows. It's just a huge community of like people who love pop culture and love to showcase it. And then there's also events in there where you can have like costume contest. You can also meet with other voice actors who were in these shows. And then it's also a great place if you want to get like cool figurines or buy art, where I make fan art as well. So yeah, it's a really fun place. You should definitely come by.
All right. One more question up there.
Yeah, for both of you, do you feel that there's an art energy in this society in Fargo that propels both of you to success? An energy within the society itself?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it definitely...
Is there an art energy like in our community?
Which I think we can all agree that there is, for sure. A lot of people are very supportive. They want to know more, which is really exciting. So once people are asking questions,
People need art,
Yes.
too. I mean, art is everywhere. People's homes, businesses, all over. So
Oh, yeah. Art brings life.
Yes, we love art here. Awesome. Well, if that's all our audience questions, I'm going to hop into our final question of the day. What is one thing we can all do to energize and support the work that you do?
I believe showing up to art shows or art events where artists are, supporting them is probably the best thing you can do for us, for sure.
supporting our art galleries and local artists. Sharing our social medias, sharing our just all that stuff. So.
Do you guys want to plug your social medias quick?
Oh, yes. You can follow me everywhere under Emore Art. I will post a whole bunch of my new artworks that are coming out. I also post TikTok videos. So there'll be like art skits and tutorials and, things like that. How do you spell that? Emore Art. It's going to be E and then MOORE and then art.
So my studio is not a store, so it's just my studio space where I create. So it is open by appointment. So clients who I'm doing custom art for, they meet me there oftentimes, or if you're picking up a piece of art. Of course, if we have shows and stuff, the public will know about that as well, and then anybody's welcome to come. But my website is katembaldock.com. It's BALDOCK. My middle initial M is just in between my first name and last name. So katembaldock.com is my website. You can find lots of information about me and my NFT. There's an NFT page. Actually, it says NFT art in the drop-down menu, and there's a lot of really good information in there. There's a few links that will take you and explain more in detail what some of the stuff is all about. My Instagram is at katembaldock, and then my Facebook is at katembaldock. So everything is the same, so easy.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We're
Thank
so
you.
grateful to have had you guys here today.
That's all we have for this week's StartuBREW Fargo. Thank you so much for listening in. StartuBREW Fargo is energized by Emerging Prairie, an organization dedicated to connecting and celebrating the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We'd also like to thank the following sponsors for their support: Pro Resources, Brady Mertz, FMCVB, Office Sign Company, Fargo Parks, FM Area Foundation, Midco, and Fargo Brewing Company. See you next time.